All right, this training video is going to cover the daily roster module within emergency reporting. This is essentially just, think of it as the right-hand page in the white book at Station 4. So daily roster will have to be created each morning when you start your shift. It's as simple as going to the daily roster section and up at the top right, add a new roster. You start with giving it a name. It's best to do a standard name of your shift and then the date so that we can keep things standard. And then you'll always know not just by the date, but also by the shift he's working. Use the today and tomorrow buttons. Assign an officer in charge. And pick your stations. You also need to do your shift. All right, if you have pre-made your shifts in the shift module, like I discussed in a different video, you can just come in and do pre-fill from shift, and it will automatically fill in everything that I'm going to go over with doing it manually. So if you have done it, you just come in and pick your shift the way you've named it, whatever, and hit pre-fill from shift, and it takes care of all the next steps for you. But we'll just assume that we need to do it manually. So we'll come in, mark our trucks. You can dual assign people, but it messes up with tracking hours on things. So for Station 4, it's best to just pick the truck that's at the station, the main truck that responds on calls from the station. You can always manually add people to 44 if necessary, but for the bulk of your calls, it's going to be easiest just to use 5134. So at this point, you'll come in and add your personnel that are on the truck. I'm just going to use today's shift as an example. Now this one's going to be a little different because we are having 3 people at that station today because there is a little bit of trade time. But for now, I'll just add the 2 main people and then show you how to make adjustments after that. And since we do have someone off on vacation today, you need to make sure everyone that is on your shift is accounted for to track all 24 hours of their shift. So you need to make sure that you come in and add anyone that's off into the unassigned category. Today, Dave's off on vacation. So once you assign everybody, it will close it out because it assumes that it's full 24 hour the entire time. Today it's not because we've got a little bit of changes to make on it. So as you can see, the activity is by default always REG, which is actually regular duty shift. Since Dave today is not on his regular work schedule, he is off on vacation, so we'll come in and mark him as vacation. So you can see that he's unassigned. He won't be added to trucks on calls, but his shift is accounted for this 24 hours he's scheduled to work today. Today is a little different with us, and this is something that we will encounter for trade times. So one person is trading time today for part of the shift. So we'll come in and edit Braden. Braden is working from 8 o'clock today until 4 o'clock today as a regular work schedule. So we'll save that. So now it shows him here for 8 hours. So then we need whoever is coming into work for him, we'll mark as Chad today. So it's today, 1600 to today, 20. Now, that isn't his regular work schedule, so we'll need to mark that as trade shift working. He's working a trade shift today for those hours. For those 4 hours. So then we know that Braden's going to come back at that time, so we'll need to re-add him again. And again, with most rosters, you won't have to go to this extent. This just covers everything that you could encounter until 8 o'clock tomorrow morning when shift is over. And that is his regular work schedule, so we save it. And then in order to fully track the full 24 hours, he will be unassigned and unavailable for the time. Gotta check, make sure you get today and tomorrow, right? So he will be trade shift off because he's trading time with someone and he's off for those hours. If someone is working out of rank for the day, let's say that Shane is working out of rank at Station 1 today, you would come in and edit Shane and change his activity code to, I'm sorry, not his activity code, change his position above it to out of rank. If there's no position marked, it's just assumed that they're working as their normal rank in their normal role. However, if you change it to out of rank, then out of rank hours can be tracked that way. Any narrative that needs put in can be marked if you need to. Anything else special that you would normally write in the white book at Station 4. At that point, you can print the roster if you want to, do anything like that. So next shift, when you start your roster for your next shift, you need to make sure that you close this roster out first. If rosters don't get closed, then this page starts to fill up. And once your shift is over, then it's closed anyway. So just come in and hit close roster right here and then you put your password in and you authorize it. At that point, that roster is completed, closed, and it's searchable through reporting and things like that. And it comes off of your open daily rosters list. So any old open daily rosters need to be closed in order to show up for tracking reporting hours. That should pretty much cover daily rosters.